family. Hope you're all doing well today. Welcome to my Go-To Shoe podcast right before the holiday. Good to see you today. One thing. Please remember to either subscribe or like, or do both. That's even better if you do both, subscribe and like. I forget to say that, so I want to make sure you do that. Subscribe and like. I'm having a little anxiety on this episode for some reason. So typically I'm okay, but today, actually just today, just like right around now, I've been feeling some kind of way about this. So anyway, today I really want to talk to you about getting through the holiday. I want to, in particular, speak to you about the first holiday, and this is the holiday that Hollis was the first Thanksgiving without Hollis. And so I wanted to talk to you about that because I know, and maybe that's why I feel some kind of way, because I received news today of someone who had passed that used to attend Bible studies with us, used to do ministry together and different projects and different ministries. And they went home to be with the Lord yesterday. So this is a tough time. It's a tough time. It really is a tough time. We all put smiles on our faces and we want to make it happen and get through. So I'm going to back up a little bit, and I'm just going to share with you first in reference to our first holiday without Hollis. And you remember, he passed October 27th, 28th, whichever one you want to use, but 28th. Anyway, that first Thanksgiving, we were invited to just everybody reached out to us and said, oh, you got to come to our home for Thanksgiving. We want you to come, everybody. But I looked at Brad, and Brad, he looked at me, and we could see that either one of us really wanted to go anywhere. But we decided that we would go to Georgia Brown's in DC. That's what we did. We went to Georgia Brown's, and, Thanksgiving is one of those holidays where, you're with family, but this time it was just the two of us. And you always want to have leftovers for that day. And we went and had a meal, and we had so much food on our table. I think people were looking at us like, what are you guys doing? But we just wanted to have something left over. Not that we were that hungry, it is what it is. But it was a tough holiday, that first one. And I know that for many of you, it may be your first Thanksgiving without your loved one. And I just want to say that each one of us feels so different about this. When I think back on that day of that first holiday, and I was so concerned about Brad and myself, and I thought, my daughter, she should be okay because she cooks, so I think she would be okay. But, I'm sure she was kind of surprised when we said, we're not going to do it this year. And she kind of made arrangements for herself. When I think back, that might not have been the best thing to do, but that's the only thing that I could do, the only thing that we could do, Brad and I. And that's what we did. We just went to dinner, the two of us by ourselves, came home, and I just remember it being very quiet and very sullen, very sullen. It was tough. And I think that's what happens with many of you out there. It's just like I said, just today, I received news of someone who had passed. And a few weeks ago, I know Ray lost his brother. Another few weeks, Jackie lost her niece. This is a first Thanksgiving, and it's just a challenge to get through, because all you do is remember how that person was and what it is when they're not there. So I want to share that because even though it's challenging, you still kind of press your way forward to get through that day. And sometimes it's just getting through that particular day. And sometimes you really don't want to be around all the festivities when everybody's smiling, laughing, and joking because you just don't feel like it. And I think we all have to respect whatever the person's wishes are. God created each one of us so different. We're all individuals and we're not the same. So how we each deal with our particular loss is totally different than someone else. And all I say is that we all have to respect whatever the wishes are of the persons who have decided they want to be alone. And sometimes it might seem like that's just too much for them, but if they're insisting upon it, just check on them. Just check on them. That's all you can do is just check on them, and of course pray for them. We do have to pray one for another because that's critical during these times. And Thanksgiving, then you get through Thanksgiving, and we made it through. We made it through that day. And then after that day, the next holiday was not a holiday, but it was Hollis's birthday, December 6th, which is, and truth be known, I always wanted to have Hollis on my birthday. I just thought it would be so neat to share a birthday with my son. And now when I look back, I'm so glad that God saw fit not to have it on the same day, that he was born on December 6th. And when his birthday came, we actually went out to dinner. We had a big celebration. I don't think we did it the first year, but the second year we had, I don't know if it was the first year or second year, we had everybody over to our home, all of Hollis's friends. And we had like a birthday celebration for him. And that really was really helpful. That was really good because everybody got the chance to talk about him and what their experience was, because he was quite a character. So we all enjoyed that time. So I impress upon you all that when the birthday comes, if it's during this season of Christmas and Thanksgiving, celebrate your loved one. Celebrate, talk about them, and talk about the things that they did and some things that they didn't do. The thing about in 2013, the holiday, the year before Hollis passed, he came home. He came Thanksgiving. He came early because he was always late. And so I really fussed at him in 2013. I says, Hollis, you're not going to get invited back early next year. Little did I know that there wouldn't be an opportunity to have him be here in 2014. Sometimes I think about that and think, oh, wow, you don't know. We have to be careful what we say, because I had no idea that in that 2013 year that he wouldn't be here for 2014. And he would always come early. I mean, he would always come late. But in 2013, he came early because we had fussed with him in 2012. Look, you need to be here on time. When everybody's sitting down in a dinner, you need to be here. So in 2013, he came early, and he just was, he drove us crazy. He was just doing things just to make us, annoy us. That's what he was doing. He was just doing everything. Is it time yet? Do you need me to do anything? What do I have to do? Do I have to cook? He was just going through all these gyrations, which was really crazy. But I remember saying, okay, that's it. We're not inviting you back early next year. Just come when you get here. So maybe that's what we need to do. When folks don't come on time, just when they get here is fine. I think I've learned that. But yeah, you never know. We never know. Why, when I think about that, we need to be good to each other. Because we don't know the last time we're going to see that one we care so much about, right? We don't know. So that holiday was 2014, back to 2014. And then I'd say his birthday, December 6th. We had that big celebration where everybody was here and we all had a good time. And family was enjoying themselves, and his close friends were all here just having a good time. It's interesting how life has some twists and turns and some things you just don't expect. So then after December 6th, then it's my birthday, December 11th. And so I remember that year was quiet, kept it quiet. It just was quiet. That's all I can say about that. But then after December 11th, then it becomes Christmas. And I remember the one year that when Hollis was in college, and I remember the first year he said, Mom, I'll see you tomorrow, meaning he's coming Christmas Day. And I remember saying, what do you mean Christmas Day? You always come on Christmas Eve. You always come. No, Mom, I'll be there Christmas Day. I said, no. He said, Ma. That's what he called, Ma. No, I'll see you Christmas Day. And so, your kids get to be adults and they make their decisions and you kind of have to go with it. But I remember maybe God was preparing me then for when I wouldn't have him on Christmas Eve. And he was preparing me to let me know that some days it's just not going to be the way we want them. And some things are never going to be the way we want them, right? Never. But we still try to make the best of it. Because the one thing that we have to remember through all of this, through the holiday season, through Thanksgiving, it's through the Thanksgiving holiday seasons, Christmas, New Year's, we're never, ever alone. Never. God is always with us. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He allows the comforter to be with us always. And that gives you peace from within, right? It gives you peace from within, knowing that whatever the challenge might be, he's still here with us. So no matter what each one of us goes through, we are never by ourselves, because the Spirit of the living God resides within us. And if I think it was episode 3 when I talked about, I had done, maybe it was episode 2, whatever episode, I had shared with you that I did Hollis's eulogy, and I said this, and I thought, why did I say that? I said, God put something in me. There was something, he made it so it worked out well. Well, that something is not just something, and I want to clarify that. It's the Spirit of the living God. You cannot walk this journey without him. And I remember thinking, it's only God. But I want to give credit to where credit's due, because it was the Spirit of the living God that resided within me that allowed God to use me to do what he wanted me to do. And unbeknownst to myself, or even when I thought I couldn't do it, he made sure. And each one of you knows that this happens to you. It happens to all of us. When God wants something to go forth, he makes sure that it does. Even with this podcast, the thing about, I felt some kind of way today because of so many things going on. Like I said, the loss of people that I cared about. So that struggle doesn't just go away, you don't see it again. It comes back. And it reminds me of the very first time I realized that death is real. I was only 5 years old. And I remember my playmate, Eddie Watson. He had muscular dystrophy. And he passed. He died. And I remember my grandma said, we're not going to Eddie's house anymore. And I said, well, why not go to Eddie's house? She says, Eddie's gone to be with God. He's gone to heaven. And even though I didn't understand it, I had to accept it at 5 years old. It's like, what? And I thought about, when was the first time you experienced death? When was that first time that you experienced that person that you really cared about? I used to play, what is it? I can't remember the game, the blocks, you used to play blocks, and you put them on, we'd sit on the floor and we'd be playing blocks on the floor. And I never realized that he was as sick as he was, because he just seemed like my playmate. So it didn't seem that big of a deal. But death is a big deal. It is. It is, because it's a relationship that you have with a person that you really cared about. You all know this, and then they're no longer there. And we who are here have to learn how to have that new normal in our lives, because it's a new normal. And you can't stay in the back the way it was, because it's past. That what happened in the past is not coming back. So we have to move forward. We have to keep it moving. We have to give ourselves grace to mourn and to move forward. And when we're mourning, it's not like there's times when you mourn. And I think I might have mentioned this before, but we cannot get so complacent that we don't allow ourselves to move forward. Sometimes, and that's why I say my go-to shoe, it's one step at a time. I think about, you ever go to the circus and you see the tightrope walker? The person that's high up 10,000, I don't know how many feet they're up, but they're like thousands of feet up. And they have that slipper that can grip the cord. And they take one step. And their hands are out like that, and they take another step. And then they take another step. And then they take another step. One step at a time. Because they're on that tightrope. And sometimes, when you lose people that you love, you feel like you're on that tightrope. And you're making plans for the celebration of life, and you're going through the Christmas holidays and the Thanksgiving holidays, and it's one step at a time. And sometimes you lose your balance. Sometimes you get wobbly. You get wobbly and you feel you can't take another step. That's why I call it my go-to shoe. Because we have no choice but to continue to move forward. Now, you know, it's interesting. I must share this with you. I shared with you, I was 5 years old when I experienced death for the first time. This purpose, I always talk about purpose because I want each one of you to meet your purpose. Meet your purpose and do what God is calling you to do. I absolutely love fashion. I love it. And so I spend my time when I'm just relaxing, I look at the fashion influencers on TV because on the YouTube, because to me, it's just relaxing. That's why I asked you all a while back, do you enjoy, what is it that you love to do? What did you love to do when your loved one was here? And now what do you do now that they're not here? What are you doing something that you actually love? And then if you haven't found that, what you love, find it so that you can enjoy it. But I think about with those men and women, their purpose. I even love some of these quips in Instagram and on Facebook. The jokes that they make, they are so good. Sometimes I really get a kick out of them. They really make me laugh. But we all have to meet our purpose. Now, I've had conversation with the Lord. I said, Lord, why do I have this? Why do I have death? That's my purpose, y'all. This is my purpose, to deal with death. Not just when my loved one passes, but when a lot of folks' loved ones pass. That's my purpose. And I thought, Lord, well, that's tough. Because when I hear about things, I feel it. I feel what they're going through. And not exactly what they're going through because I'm not them, but I have that compassion and that empathy of what they're going through. Because I know it's something that's not easy. So sometimes we don't really want the purpose that God has given us. We don't want it. But sometimes God has a way of showing you that this is what you have to do. And I don't know if I've said it in the past, but it's so important for us to be obedient to the Spirit of the living God to do what He would have us to do. And that's why you always see, my message always talks about purpose and what you're doing. Because there's a lot of work to do out there. There's a lot of work to do out there. That's why you can't stay stuck in your own space of what you're feeling. You can't stay stuck in that place that you're living in. Nobody knows what you're going through, and that's okay. Because if each one of us can make just one person's day brighter and lighter, we've met what God would have us to do. Even if there's just one thing that we did that's helping somebody else. So I wanted to share that because I started thinking about what God has given me to do and how, I like to joke around, I like to have fun. And it's not necessarily a fun type of purpose that I've been called to do. It's what my Lord has called me to do in this ministry. It's just not a lot of jokes and laughs in this one. You come in somebody's home, they're not feeling the best, and you've got to be that person that's trying to be your best, even when they're not their best. And I say that because each and every day, and I told you this before, you got to ramp it up. Rise and maintain your purpose. Rise and maintain your peace. Rise and maintain your position in God. Rise and maintain the peace that surpasses all understanding God provides. Yeah. We serve, God is just so awesome. He's just so awesome. And the thing is this, what I think we all have to remember. He never said it was going to be easy, but he did say he would be with us always. He promised that. He never said it was going to be easy, but he did say, I will be with you. I will be with you always. Well, that's forever. That's forever. That's always. And while we're on this run, this walk, if you're on that tightrope and you taking one step at a time, and you're doing this and that, and you're trying to make it, because it's like a tightrope sometimes. But you remember the person, the entertainer that's on the tightrope. There's a goal at the end of that tightrope. There's a goal at the end. And when they get to that end, they've made it through. They've made it through. The thing is this, our goal and our end is not till we go on to glory. So we got a lot of walking to do. A lot of running to do. Some pit stops to make. But we got a lot to accomplish. So those of you who are going through this holiday season, trying to get through Thanksgiving, trying to get through Christmas, trying to get through New Year's, trying to get through the birthday celebrations and the anniversary celebrations, going through all those, make yourself go to those anniversary celebrations. Make yourself go to those birthday celebrations. Force yourself to go to these. And the reason I say that is because there's joy in those occasions, because you're celebrating someone else's good. They made it, now they're retired. They made it to be 60 years old. They made it to be 75. They made it to be 80. They've made it that far. And we've got to embrace that and love what God has blessed them with while we continue on the journey. Live on, strengthen soul. I love y'all. Next time we're going to have a guest next time, and we're going to talk about a different kind of loss, but nonetheless a loss. I love y'all. Have an absolutely outstanding Thanksgiving. Be blessed, and just know that God is with you, and He's going to keep you, and He's going to love you like no other will love you. All right? Now, we're going to leave. I'm going to stop right. I think I'm going to stop right. I have one little thing I wanted to say though, real quick. I wanted to share with you the first New Year's I spent. And I'll talk about that now since we're talking about the holidays. New Year's, I spent it by myself, but I made myself a table setting. I cooked food, because Brad and I always did seafood on New Year's Eve. I did the whole thing. And I sat there by myself, and I just thank God for being there with me. And I remember I didn't do a whole lot of crying and carrying on. I just enjoyed the time. I enjoyed the time. So this is where we are now. So what we're gonna. I just want to leave you with this. I know you may not feel like going through the holidays, but I need you to press forward anyhow. I know you might not like your circumstances right now, but you need to see what God has in store for you, because He's got something very good. And 3, learn to love on you. Learn to love on yourself so that you know what makes you happy. And that starts again, I'm just going to tell you, it starts with that intimate, vertical relationship with God. Because it's going to be better. It's going to be better than what you expect. It's going to be better than what you expect. Just watch God. Watch God. So yeah, I love y'all. Have a blessed holiday season. Right on through the new year. Be blessed. And the next time we meet, which will be episode 5, like I said, I have a guest here. So I'm looking forward to meeting with y'all again. So love y'all. See you soon. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. And may God always smile upon you. Feel His presence. Feel His spirit. And just relish in it. Because that's